Let me take this opportunity to thank and congratulate the participants here present, leaders from the 6 counties of the Nyanza region, professionals who have volunteered their time and expertise, other stakeholders from different sectors who also have made their contributions in a robust, informative, and in the best way that they could. This retreat to discuss matters economy of the 6 counties is a culmination of many meetings in different places by different groups and different sectors. And what you see here is a small representation of a very robust and wide engagement of leaders and stakeholders from across the political divide and across the sectoral divide in the Nyanza region, the 6 counties in that Nyanza region. I am very proud and humbled to be here with my technical team to listen and to engage with this team so that together we can formulate an economic blueprint that will become the centerpiece of our engagement going into the next election. I must admit that there is tremendous experience and knowledge that I have witnessed coming from this team. There is a wealth of information that we have gathered out of this engagement, and it will significantly enrich our thoughts and the plan that we have for our country going forward. I did promise the country that we are going to change the conversation. That's roughly about a year ago. Today, I'm a very proud Kenyan that the conversation has actually changed. And that the discourse we are having today in Kenya is not about the usual politics of alliances building, of position sharing, of power sharing, that for the very first time in the history of our country, the political discourse is about the economy of our country. You may like it or not, but every leader today in Kenya has been forced to have a discussion of some sort about the economy. And I am encouraged that the people of Kenya have forced the political class to discuss about the economy. There is all shades of economy that we are now discussing. There is the textbook economy that is being pushed by some of my friends. There is another rural economy. There is all manner of economy. And from where I sit, this is the best that we can do for our country. Because we are not discussing tribal alliances. We are not discussing position sharing alliances. We are not discussing power sharing alliances. We are discussing the economy of our country. And I want to specifically thank the Hustler Nation in Kenya for insisting that they do not want to participate in a discourse about tribes and positions and power and the sharing of it, but they want to discuss the economy of our country from right at the bottom. Ladies and gentlemen, the second issue I would want to say here is listening to the leaders, stakeholders, and professionals from the Nyanza counties. I am very happy that they are making suggestions around how we can build the cotton value chain using biotech cotton seeds that hopefully will double our production, engage close to 1.3 million farmers in our country, and build a whole textile value chain that will not only create jobs, it will also create wealth and be able to put in the pockets of farmers resources. Same to do with the blue economy. How the blue economy, we can go into fishing industry on cages and making sure that we have modern infrastructure around storage, around transportation, and they have also suggested the relevant infrastructure for us to be able to achieve that. And all the other sectors that they have suggested. In a nutshell, we have agreed with this team that we need to sort out three fundamental issues as we drive this economic debate. Number one is to ensure that we invest public and private sector resources in creating or in infrastructure, whether it is physical or business infrastructure, that will create jobs for the millions of jobless young people in Kenya. At the bottom of the pyramid, we have close to 4 million jobless Kenyans. And the discussion in this meeting is on how we are going to invest in physical infrastructure that create those jobs, business infrastructure that create those jobs, value addition, agro-processing, manufacturing, industrialization that create those jobs. Secondly, we have agreed on how we are going to increase production and productivity in the very important area in our economy of agriculture. From sugarcane to cotton to bananas to avocados to mangoes, the whole of that agricultural value chain, so that we can not only enhance productivity, we can also enhance production, so that we can improve earnings to our farmers. We have agreed with this team that we are going to look at the crops that are there now, how we can enhance their productivity and production, and we can also look at alternative crops, high-value crops that can also help farmers in that region to be able to improve their earnings, whether we are looking at coffee, whether we are looking, because the coffee market, if we remove the cartels, we can increase tenfold our national production of coffee, because there is a market for coffee worldwide, especially Kenyan coffee, and all the other sectors that we are involved. That is the second item, how to increase the productivity, how to increase production of all our farming value chains, from livestock to crops and to new high-value crops. And thirdly, we have also agreed on how to organize farmer groups, business people, people selling in our markets, the mama mbogas, the entrepreneurs, micro, small, medium enterprises, how to organize them into viable entities as SACCOs, as cooperatives, so that we can liberate them from the shackles of Shylocks and predatory lenders and be able to access credit to all those categories who today pay a disproportionate rates of interest. While corporates are paying 10%, many SMEs are paying anywhere to 1,000% per year. So we have agreed that we are going to organize the whole of that sector into viable entities, into SACCOs, into cooperatives, so that we can leverage and build capacity for enterprises at the bottom of the pyramid to be able to access credit that is reasonable, and that once organized, then it is possible to find government support or private sector support and build the necessary capacity so that we can drive out poverty at the lower level and allow the small, micro, medium enterprises to begin the journey of growing into bigger enterprises, into bigger institutions, and be able to make the hustlers at the bottom of the pyramid begin to leverage on what the interventions we are going to make to grow their enterprises. And that way, we can be able to expand at the bottom of the pyramid the number of taxpayers, so that it's not the 4 or 5 million people who pay tax today. We can go to 10, 12, 15 million taxpayers, and we can reduce the burden on those who are paying taxes today, because we have more people whom we have assisted to come into the platform where they can support our country, and we can progressively begin to exit the dangerous debt levels that currently are in our country, as we are able to fund our development using locally developed resources and locally raised taxes. So this is a very important conversation. I know you are aware that today marks exactly 1 year to the next election. And I am very happy that on day 1 of the last year, we are discussing matters economy, that we are not discussing all the other issues. I am very proud that the conversation in Kenya has changed. I welcome all the other leaders, including my competitors, to engage the people of Kenya on this very important subject of the economy. They should not be intimidated by the fact that we have a bottom-up economic model that is superior. I encourage them to look for alternative models, and they should not waste their time trying to discredit the bottom-up economic model. They should be telling us how their trickle-down economic model is going to do better, which it has not done for the last 50 years. And talking about models, I have seen some of my competitors say, let us not make this conversation about models. But I want to tell them 2 things. For us to connect 8 million people to electricity in the last 9 years, we changed the connection model. For us to construct more tarmac in Kenya, we changed the construction model and came up with 3 different designs for us to build an extra 150 technical training colleges. We had to interrogate our education model. So, my friends, let us have a conversation about the economic model that will work. Don't try to run away and say this is not about models. And lastly, I don't know why people are confident or are comfortable with us discussing models of governance, whether it is presidential, parliamentary, or hybrid. But when we come to a discussion about an economic model, you want to tell us models are not important. My friends, models are important. Let's have a discussion about which model will pull our country from the place where we are, where we have 4 million people without jobs or underemployed, where we have 6 million Kenyans who are struggling business people and require support, and where we have close to another 6 million people in our farms who are on food relief. It is that situation that we must correct. And we can only correct that situation by having a conversation around our economy. And it is my considered view that a discussion about the economy will never suffice until we are discussing a bottom-up economic model that will lift the millions at the bottom and begin to journey them to the middle, build a bigger middle class, and be able to create a nation where nobody is left behind and the majority, if not all, have a chance to be the best they can in our country. Thank you very much.